Hey, good to have you back. My name's Lloyd, and I'm shooting a series that I'm going to call the Foundations. And I just shot one having to do with scales in the cage system because I just think it's so important. You can't really move ahead unless you understand that stuff and you can play it. Not only understand it, but you can play it without thinking. Okay. Now, today we're going to look at triads. I'm going to do a little bit of backup theory here. Chords come from scales, and here we have a C major scale, and in that scale we have all of the chords that are related to that scale. And the chord we're going to look at today is just the C major triad. So what is a C major triad? We start with the first degree of the scale and then to the third, take, skip, take. 1, 3, and 5 like this. 1, 3, 5. And that's going to give us a C major chord, a complete C major chord with the notes C, E, and G. What is a C major chord? C, E, and G, okay? That's it. A C major chord is not a picture, it's not a diagram, it's the notes of C, E, and G. That is a big deal. Okay. All right, and so when we play the notes of the C major chord like this, right, or in 2 octaves, that's called an arpeggio. When we play the notes of the chord like this, right, and play them all together, it's called a chord. When we attack all the notes at the same time. This chord that you probably have played is really just a C triad as well, because all we're doing is duplicating the notes. Here we have a G, a C, and E, a G, a C, and another E. It's just notes that are duplicated. But you don't always need those great big gigantic rhythm chords, right? And that's what we're trying to get away from a little bit. Not that they're good, not good. They're good in the right place. Okay. And now this is what an inversion is. Here's a C and E and a G that we call root position, because the C note is in the lowest voice. So C is in the bottom voice, so we call it a root position. The root is in the bottom voice, the naming note of the chord, the root. And we take that root and we put it up an octave. So here we had a voicing of C, E, and G, and here we have a voicing of E, G, and C. So the C is now on top. That sounds like this: C, E, G, E, G, C. Right? Different voicings. And when we move that C up an octave to put it on top, now we call this a first inversion, because we've inverted the chord, we've moved the lowest note to the top, and now we're going to do that again, move the lowest note to the top. The E now goes to the top, and so now the voicing of this chord is G, C, and E. G, G, C, and E. So far we've had C, E, G, E, G, C, G, C, E, and then we'll finish up with E, G, C, E, G again. And that's an octave higher. In each case, all we do is take the inversion and move the bottom note to the top. C, E, G, E, G, C, G, C, E, and C, E, G again, an octave higher. This C, E, G is an octave higher than this one. Okay, and those are called inversions, and this can be done with any chord, and they're essential, as you'll see as we move along. Okay, now what I've done here is we've got the fretboard separated into different string sets, and on the first string set we have We're starting with the second inversion, just because that's the way it works out on the string set. G, C, and E. And then we move up to the third position. And we've taken the G and put it up an octave, and now we end up with root position C major. So here we have inversion. Take the bottom note, put it to the top. Take the bottom note and put it to the top. So now we have second inversion, root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Underneath this, you'll have, you'll be thinking ultimately of the scale template below this, or the template of the C major scale. Remember that each of these inversions comes out of a C major scale. Each of these notes comes out of a C major scale. This chord is the one chord in the key of C major. Then we move to the second string set, which we have right here. And we start with the first inversion, and we're moving up the fretboard, and up the fret, and up. Always the bottom note. Piano players play, work like this all the time. Guitar players rarely. Unfortunately. Remember that the guitar is a polyphonic instrument. That means that it's designed to play chords. It's designed to play more than one note at a time. There seems to be it seems to be fashionable now to play single notes at the speed of light. To the point where, I with some of these guys, I have trouble hearing what I'm like. My ears don't move that fast, right? Great technique, whoop-de-doo, but, chords would be nice too, right? So these are triads on the second string set, right? Now we can use the second string set and move to the first. What am I playing? A C chord. That's all I'm playing. I'm playing a C chord, and just moving the notes around a little bit. Now I can do exactly the same thing on the third string set. Third string set would be strings 3, 4, 5. And you can hear right, same notes all over the fretboard. If you're sort of a keen player who wants to know how to play guitar, there's no way to get around this. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, you just really need to learn your triads up and down the fretboard. Chords are not pictures. Chords are not diagrams. Chords are combinations of notes. Okay, so that was that, and then we can move. Now we can start to move across the fretboard in different ways. And then finally, bottom string set. My C, E, G. It's so heavy down there that I, admittedly, I don't play these inversions all that much. And then we can start to move. You get the idea. All of that was one chord, just a C chord. Okay, now I'm going to move to the next chord briefly. The next chord that I have here is an F chord. F chord is the 4 chord in the key of C because it's built on the 4th degree of the C major scale, C, D, E, F. And then we do the take, skip, take, skip, take, and we end up with the notes F, A, and C. When we do this take, skip, take thing, we're doing what we call tertian harmony. In other words, we're building harmony in thirds. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the notes in an F chord are F, A, and C. F, F, A. So what I have is F, A, C, first inversion A, C, F. That's what I have here. And then second inversion C, C, F, A, F. Okay, cool. That's an F chord. And now what we want to do is, if you've, here, I'll just play the first string set. Here's F, 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 and then F. Now we're going to go C to F on the first string set. C, F, C, and C. Okay, you can hear that, right? You can hear what these changes sound like. That's just a 1 to a 4. You get the idea, right? We can now move to the second string set. C, F, C, C, F, C, and C, F, C. So what I'm hoping to achieve today is, if you're that player who has reached a plateau and is wondering how to move on, there's nothing more important than triads. There's just nothing more important than triads on the guitar fretboard, and that's all there is to it. So I would suggest working through a systematic method of learning your triads, and this is a very good one. I think I wrote it, so it's probably pretty good. But I have to admit, kudos to George Van Epps, who wrote the treatise on triads, and it's just fantastic. And I went to a great teacher for a while. His name was Tony Braden, and he had a wonderful method of teaching triads. And was a real player and did a tremendous amount of work in the Toronto area many years ago now. Okay, that's triads, and I'm going to keep digging into this foundations series. Okay, that's about it. Thanks for stopping by. That was triads and inversions in a foundations series that I'm going to do. Because foundations are sort of important, right? Especially if you want to build anything on top of them. Okay, so we'll see you again real soon. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.